they black owned for the people. In the roots they will find your sequel. Genetic test in the process, peaceful. Reunite, multiply with your equals. Black scientists, research it. Invest in that time, you're worth it. Experience feels so perfect. Get on the right path to your purpose. No other in the industry like this. Find your link to a tribe, precise kit. The Mende people, Mandinka, Volanta, the house. I wanna know ya. Cameroon, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone. Gotta let me show ya. Nigeria, Bioko Island, Liberia. I wanna know ya. Cameroon, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone. Gotta let me show ya. Nigeria, Bioko Island, Liberia. I wanna know ya. AfricanAncestry.com. The pioneers in genetic tracing for black people. Since 2003, doing what no other in the industry can do. By tracing your DNA to the present day African country, ethnic group, or tribe. What better time than now to find out where you came from? Order your kit today.
Hey everybody, good evening and hello. What's up, what's up, what's up? It's good to see you. It's Gina Page. I'm the president and co-founder of AfricanAncestry.com. You know how we do. We come to you every Wednesday to chat it up about all things African ancestry related. So really that could be anything, right? Because Black people, we are the world. I'm so glad to have you here with me this evening, and I'm very excited as usual to see everybody, and also about our guest, who's a really good friend of mine and is familiar to you guys who are part of the African Ancestry family. So Mary Smith, you were the first one to comment tonight, so you have an African Ancestry notebook coming to you. My gift for being the first one to comment tonight. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you. Shout out to everybody, the General Ledger, and oh Lord, my guest is clowning in the green room. Norma, Bob, Simple's here. Good evening, Daniel, Monique, good to see you. Yakota in the house. Chazelle, thank you, Chazelle. I'm wearing purple lipstick because our guest is an Omega, so I thought I'd shout him out with some purple lips. I can't keep doing this though. You all know last week I tried to do something to match ties. So I think after August, I'm gonna be done with all this matching. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hey, Andrew, Antonio, Robert, Mondrial, Kiki's here, Travera, Jerish Jones. That seems like a new name. Welcome, Jerish. I don't remember seeing your name before, but welcome back if I just missed your name. Avanti's here, Sandra. Oh, I love it. I love it. My friend Pamela Hood, my companion traveling to Sierra Leone. It's good to see you. Clarissa, A. Dion is here. Woo! Joseph, Lisa. Lisa, you got your t-shirt. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Antonio, John, Dewania. I'm seeing a lot of new names. I love this. This is making me feel loved. Shout out to Nikki T. Antonia, I love this. So your son did the maternal test, the matriclan test, and so you were able to get your results. And I think that's really important, especially as we lead into a new campaign that launched today called Why You Matter, where our goal is to get, well, I'll talk about that in a minute when my guest comes on. First time visitor. Okay, Wendi, we have to do this. We have to come up with a first time visitor song, okay? Shout out to Wendi Cherry in the background. We got to honor our first time visitor. She's just looking at me like, you can do that, Gina. Welcome, everybody. Evelyn, it's your first time too. What's up, girl? Hey, Devon. Whew. I'm so happy to see y'all. Okay, so today we launched a new campaign with Travel Noir, which is part of Glavity, called Why You Matter. And I want to pull the cover guy for the Why You Matter campaign in. I'm going to pull him in now. Well, no, I should read his bio first, huh? I don't know what to do now. We practiced this before. Okay, this is Diallo Sumbry. What's up, Diallo? I can't hear you.
I'm muted. Okay, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me now? Now I can't hear you.
How you doing, Diallo?
I'm good, Gina. How are you? Never fails. It never fails.
Every time you come on, we have some technical difficulties, but this is on me this time. So everybody, this is Diallo Sumbry. He is all things African ancestry. Officially, he is the president and CEO of the Adinkra Group. It's an African cultural resource company with a mission to cultivate cultural exchange opportunities and facilitate small business development and investment throughout the African diaspora. In 2018, December 2018, actually, Diallo was appointed U.S. Ambassador for Tourism for the country of Ghana in recognition of his impact on the country's cultural and tourism sectors. In case you didn't know this, he is one of the architects of the Year of Return. And dare I say, he is the primary architect of the Year of Return. I'm sure he probably can't say that, but that's what I'm going to say. We take African ancestry, we taking liberties with the details. Diallo's professional and educational background in the arts administration and education really have positioned him in a very unique way to create valuable projects that connect people of African descent with their rich cultural and ancestral heritage. He has a master's degree in public administration from the University of the District of Columbia. You all know how we do in DC, home of the great godfather of go-go, Chuck Brown. And he is our director of partnerships. Woo! That's a mouthful. Diallo, thank you for being here.
Gina, she reading the whole bio like you just could have read one sentence and let it. You know I'm shy.
Whatever, shy nothing. We gotta give you your flowers. You have done the work and you have the receipts, and I want to share the receipts. But so Diallo, you're coming to us from Ghana, right?
Yes, I am live in Ghana. It is 11:10 p.m. right now.
Well, I'm glad you stayed up to be with us. And actually, this is my second time seeing you today.
Yes. Earlier, Why You Matter, lunch table. Hopefully everybody got a chance to see that conversation or hear that conversation. I'm sure we could probably put the link in the chat. For those who didn't, they could go back and watch it. It was dope. Root to the bruh, who I see in there. Okay, that's Nicole. Root to the soror.
Yeah, so the Why You Matter campaign is a new campaign for African ancestry, and it's our effort to get more men to take an African ancestry test. We are pushing to get 2,022 men or males to take an African ancestry test by Father's Day of 2022. And, this is not to leave the sisters out, but we wanted to pay special homage, if you will, to the men. And Diallo, can you talk about why we thought it was important for men to understand that we think they matter?
Well, outside of the fact that we do, and outside of the fact that, we help to complete the African family, for me personally, taking the African ancestry test, as you know, kind of helped me really, I found that missing link. So for me, that was that missing link in my purpose. So it was really after 2017 when I took it is when I started to spend more time on the continent of Africa and eventually began to relocate because it was just like once I knew, and even though I'm not in the country where I found out that I was from, I'm closer to it than I was. It just concretized everything for me. And it was like, okay, like I know now, right? So I'm no longer just an African from Trenton, which was cool. It was always cool being an African from Trenton, but now I could say my maternal Fulani, present day Nigeria, my paternal Eteke, present day Gabon. So it gave me I got a little more vim now. I got more energy and more push. So I know I closed that gap. So
Well, Diallo, let's talk about that for a second, because you were not an early adopter of African ancestry, though you knew about us for a very long time. What was the point at which you decided, hey, let me go ahead and take this test. Let me stop playing and take this test.
Well, I think I had gotten to the point where I, like a lot of other people, just felt like, at first I felt like being African was good enough. I know I'm black, I know I'm African, raised in Pan-African communities, red, black, and green, root, free to land, all of that good stuff. But the fact I just didn't know. It's like, I don't know. It's like when you don't know something that you can know, then it's going to bother you. I'm that type OCD where it's going to bother me, the fact that I didn't know. And what we were doing with the Adinkra Group in our birthright journeys, as we were launching it, I'm like, wait a minute, how can I be doing this work of connecting African people to the continent and taking African people to the continent and partnering with African Ancestry initially to help people find out where they're from, and then I not know. It just, so it was just like how I'm connecting people to the African continent. I see people wanting to know where they're from, and I didn't know. And it was time, it was time for me to figure out, and I knew that I would be able to do something for both sides of my family. So my father's side of my family and my mother's side, I knew that I would be able to find out both. So now that part of our family history is complete.
Yeah, I feel you, and I was really excited when you finally decided to do it. Speaking of birthright journeys, shout out to Wala of Birthright Africa. She's watching from Ghana right now. She's in, I think she said she's in Ghana. She's watching us. Shout out to you, Wala, and the work
I
that you're
always
doing over.
I always see Walla on her last day in Accra. I always run into her on her last day when she's on the way out. Walla, hit me up.
So you
Her last day.
you mentioned the Adinkra Group and the work you do, and the Adinkra Group does a lot of amazing work. But part of the reason I went to Africa so many times, to Ghana to be exact, in over the course of 2 years, was because of the Adinkra Group. So can you talk about some of the highlights of the work that you're doing with the Adinkra Group?
Well, we are based in Washington, D.C. and Accra, Ghana. In D.C., we're right outside of D.C. in Mount Rainier, Maryland. We have cultural art studios where we work with ages 2 through adult, West African drumming, dance, and other cultural arts. And we also have a recording and podcasting studio, a free virtual platform space that allows people to come and express themselves and be unapologetically African, right? And we had done that work for some years. In around 2017, it was really time for us to begin to move to the next step, which is connecting people to the African continent. So over the course of that time and traveling back and forth to Ghana, now mind you, before Ghana, I had been to Senegal, had been to Guinea. My older brother, Mahiri, shouts out to Jim, who's the drum teacher, the instructor, Baba M all over DC, Maryland, Virginia, and in the world actually, holds down the drumming and the teaching and the pedagogy. He had been traveling back and forth to Guinea for about 15, 20 years. So when I came to Ghana, most people that you'll find in Ghana who's actually decided to stay will all say that it was something about Ghana. It's something about Ghana that pulls you in and that gets you connected. So when I came to Ghana is when I really decided to start bringing groups to Ghana on birthright journeys, because it was important for us to now take the process of talking about African culture, helping corporations, helping schools integrate African culture through school assemblies, helping businesses celebrate Black History Month, Kwanzaa, and other things throughout the year. It was now time for us to move towards actually helping people get to the soil. So when we started to do that, I always say, like, I can't really take credit for something that God and the ancestors have done or used you for. So much happened in my first couple of years, and wind up meeting the CEO of Ghana Tourism Authority, signed an MOU with them, which led to us helping to create the year of return and managing that for the year of 2019, where we brought about 1,000 people to Ghana. Shouts out to the NAACP. Shouts out to everybody else who traveled with us. Shouts out to all my people in the system. We traveled early on, and so it was like so much was happening at the same time for people who don't know. So much was happening at the same time. The way the Adinkra Group was growing and my partnership and our work with African Ancestry in terms of helping people, not only connect with their identity, but get revealed and do that on the African continent and our African Ancestry family reunions. So I like to say really that we were at the right place at the right time. We were prepared. And the creator of all things and our ancestors covered us, and pushed us forward and lifted us up to allow us to continue to do this work. It's serious work. It's business, but it's more than business because not only helping people connect with their lost identity, but actually helping people get on the soil. Because when you're here, you feel the difference. And a lot of people don't know Ghana is the closest landmass to the center of the world. So you feel the difference. You hear the difference. You from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet when that sun hits you. I mean, it's just you get that extra. you get that extra vim. You know what I'm saying? You get that extra swoop in your step. So for me, I love it. And I love helping to curate that experience for people because so many people don't give Africa a second chance, right, Gina? We talk about this a lot. So many people, it's like if you go to China and you have a bad experience, you might say, oh, it was just a tour guide or it was just a hotel, but I'm going to try again next time. But when we travel to the continent, we don't give it a second chance. We either have an all-out blast and a ball, or I ain't never going back there again, and a lot of us don't really give us that second chance. So a lot of what we do is shortening the distance. Eugenia, you're going to have to interrupt me.
Yeah, I know. I was going. You're going on and on. No, but I do want to interrupt you because I think you definitely answered the question, but it brings up so many other questions. I know that you talked a lot about this connectedness, and one of the things we've been talking about most recently at African Ancestry is the fact that we are a purpose-driven company. And while we certainly are a corporation and know that as a corporation, we have to turn a profit and all of that, our work is clearly and firmly rooted in purpose. And I know your work is too. And I was really happy to see that you decided to share some of your knowledge and experience more broadly with your recent book that you published, a Smart Ghana Repatriation Guide. And congratulations, first of all. We tried to have a pre-launch event for you here, but the international Wi-Fi wasn't on our side that night. So congratulations on publishing your first book.
Thank you very much, Dr. Page. The Wi-Fi guides were definitely not in our favor when we tried to do the pre-launch. It was horrible. Just couldn't hear anything.
It just wasn't the time. It just wasn't the time. And now's the time for us to lift you up and celebrate this now that, it's been out for not very long, just maybe a month or so, or a couple of months. I can't keep up with you, Diallo. But tell us why you wrote the book.
So, over the course of the past couple of years, bringing people to Ghana and other parts and other African countries, having conversations with African Americans, and being real with myself in the experience, what you find is that many of us, rightfully so, we have a very romanticized relationship with getting off the plane, with kissing the ground, with taking some soil home, and I want to see my brothers and my sisters, and yay, I'm in Africa, rah, rah, I'm moving to Africa, and when you get here, it's a different experience, right? It's a different experience. and I try to talk about it in a way that doesn't indict any country or doesn't indict the whole continent, because there is still so much more development to go. Trenton definitely makes, and the world definitely takes. Thank you so much. It's a different, and then a lot of us, we can't find that. Like there were a few other guys published, but I didn't see and find anything that would really help people who wanted to move. Like and not necessarily people who just wanted to cancel everything and move in one swoop. Like, I don't think that there is a right way to repatriate. Okay. Whether you planning for 5 years, whether you do it in 10 years, whether you only want to spend half your life, half your year in Ghana or another African country and the other half in the US, we wanted to create a book and a product that people could see. And it's really like a 101. It's really like a 101 guide, just kind of giving some real truths about what it's like to being on the ground and giving some other information. So this particular
Let me ask a question there. Is the content relevant to other countries too? Somebody asked that question. Is it just Ghana, or I imagine, well, if you're interested in repatriation in general, would this guide be useful for you?
Yes. If I would, so earlier in the book, I talk about how in some instances, if I may, I'm using Ghana as a substitute for Africa, right? And, we can't really say that. You can't really say that. Africa is such a large and a vast place. It's the largest body of land, 54 countries, so many cultures, so many languages, so many ethnicities. And then we have to deal with the real fact that so much of Africa still has so many characteristics of its various colonizers. So in some places it's very British because the British were here. They colonized. Some places are very French. Some places are very Portuguese. So you have all of these different elements, and then you have the Chinese people coming in, you have Turkish people coming, you have Lebanese. So there's so many different people and cultures that are now all throughout Ghana. You can't really. So I just wanted to say that I don't like just saying all of Africa, but I wrote this book specifically for people for African Americans, and I'm not saying that African Americans are monolithic, right? But if you're African American and you don't like potato salad or you don't like sweet potato pie or black eyed peas, we need to take a piece of your black card. Can I say that? So it's a group of people who've had an understanding growing up in America as we have, right? We know what happened in America from the 1900s to 1925. We know what happened with us during World War I. We saw what happened with us in the 60s and the 80s and the 90s and 2000s. So we have a particular experience, right, that we all have together. So this is for people who've gone through that experience. Our people in London have had a different experience in Europe. Our people in the Caribbean have had a different experience. So I wrote a book. I'm from Trenton. I wrote a book for somebody from Trenton, from somebody from Ohio who might be thinking about moving and not necessarily divorcing America, but definitely changing your relationship with America.
Let me ask you this. Does the experience living in Ghana match the hype, Diallo? Like, does it really, and does it compare to, does the hype compare to what people are actually experiencing?
Instagram account. So a lot of times what we see on Instagram, what we see on Facebook are the bright sides, right? So you see the colorful pictures in a nice frame, put your phone on portrait and take the picture. You see people taking pictures with all the colorful fruits in the market, with this, with that, with that. And that is the beauty of Africa. And I do understand the importance of this because there's a movement that specifically shows this parts of Africa. And that is to counter the popular media for decades and centuries that's only talked about Africa as this savage jungle place. So it's like we have to show that Africa is modern and that there are all of these other things in Africa that, yes, you can get a cold bottle of Veuve Clicquot champagne, and yes, you might see a Rolls Royce driving down the street. And yes, you might see these things. For me, those things don't necessarily always equal modern or developed. But when you get there on the ground, there are some very real things that you will learn and that you will need to know. You know, your Cash App is not going to work over here. There are other things that you need to know. For example, in Ghana, emergency medical care is fairly new in Ghana. That's fairly new. You're not going to see a lot of ambulances. So if you plan to move over here, the first thing you might want to know is you're going to be responsible for saving yourself. And then the second thing you might want to do is figure out, what does putting together an emergency medical care plan look like for me and my family? When you start dealing with currency and how you deal with the banks, when you start talking about buying land and building a house. And then people all over the world, there are dishonest people all over the world. And sometimes if you're really clouded with this romantic relationship and you're so happy to be home and to be dusty, or whatever it is that's happening, you might not be sharp, right? And you just might be taking anybody's word for, oh no, this guy said he's my brother. He said, just give him my wallet and he's going to come back and show me the gold mine. Right. And now you hear you ain't got no passport, you looking and somebody's off. So it's very real, it's a very real experience. And because of who we are and because of the divide that was intentionally attempted to be created between what we call plain Africans, that's those of us who, and then boat Africans, those of us who came over during the transatlantic slave trade, and how we kind of look at each other and, oh, them Africans don't like me, or them Black Americans don't like all of that stuff is just nonsense, really. But it's different than what you see online. Some of it you just got to get here and explain. This is one thing I'll say. And since we talking about DNA, Gina, you're going to appreciate this, right? We all heard of CPT. Do we all know what CPT is? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Okay, let me see in the comments if you know what CPT is. I want to see if our crew knows what CPT is.
Somebody got to know what CPT is. What is CPT? Right? What CPT
Hughes
is?
says no.
Okay,
there you go. Mama McKinney knows what CPT is.
Color people's time, right? Well, guess what? Color people's time is in our DNA, because APT is about 2 hours later than CPT. Now let's see if y'all can figure out what APT is.
Listen, Diallo,
because APT is.
Hold on, we have a new segment we started last week that we're going to do in a little while, but that should have been one of our facts or whack statement, what APT is.
Right.
Go ahead.
That's a great comment there. No place is perfect. Every place has its challenges. Depends on why you're going and what you're looking for. Thank you. So we have a chapter in the book called Knowing Your Why, right? Discovering your why. And what we say is your why should be bigger than anything else. So when you run up against a wall, when you run up against a service that's not working, when you just run up against different challenges, you got to remember your why. Why are you there? And that why that you've worked out before you've repatriated is going to help you get through it. That why is also going to help you when you're looking at Instagram or TV and you're thinking like, dang, I'm about to miss this Boys to Men reunion concert. They on tour coming through my area and I can't go. Right? Well, I guess nobody can go to concerts now because of the pandemic. But the point is, if you have to know your why and be very real with yourself, even with things that you think are trivial. Right? So you think because you move into Africa, certain things might not matter. But after 6 weeks, you start missing that Chick-fil-A. You need to be honest with yourself before you repatriate. And it's okay. Like Chick-fil-A got a different value for different people. So you have to be able to say, I don't think I can go too long without Chick-fil-A. Right? And I need Chick-fil-A. Because you ain't going to find no Chick-fil-A in Ghana. You're going to find Chick Felix or something, but it ain't gonna be Chick-fil-A, right?
So speaking of Chick-fil-A, Diallo, what's something that you miss the most? What's one thing you miss the most when you're in Ghana and not here in DC?
Well, my family, because my family is still home, so that's number one. But outside of my family, you already know there are no go-go's in Ghana. Like, So when I go home, my family knows this. Everybody knows this. I'm a huge. If you're from Washington D.C., you know what go-go is. So I get to listen to the go-go music here and tapes, but when I go home, I got to go to the go-go. Like I need to, and it feels like a need. It's like I need to go get charged up. I need to hear my city's music. I need to go see the backyard band. The other thing I need to do when I go home, I need to go to the Foot Locker. I need to get me a fresh pair of New Balance 998s or something. I got to go get me some regular men's size Levi's jeans that's not jeggings or look like I'm about to work out. I gotta go find, like, these are things that may not be, it's other things, you know what I'm saying? Like good old Black American fried fish. Like I need African fried fish is cool, but I need that auntie cornbread fried fish. Ugh. Like I could talk about a million different things that I miss.
I only asked you for one, but that's okay.
You got me started, but again, it gets lonely sometimes, and it gets tough sometimes. Even though I talk to my family every day on chat, text, FaceTime, or whatever. But again, knowing your why, like I really know that a lot of the reason why I'm here is for Kwaku, Ama, and AC, right? It's for AJ, it's for Niala, it's for Corey, it's for Kojo, it's for my nieces and my nephews. It's to create a pathway for my family to come later. And it's also to really serve my purpose, right? To serve, when I talked about finding my purpose, when you talked about African Ancestry being a purpose-driven company and how taking the test helped me to find my purpose. Gina, you and I were talking and I was here and I said, Gina, I just realized that everything I've done up until this point in my life was preparing me for wind up in the president of Ghana's office, shaking his hand and helping the country start and create the year of return that brought thousands and thousands of Black people back. And that nowadays, and that now has continued to push this Black Renaissance movement. So, like we were successful in the simple fact that now Africa is not that far away, right? It's not that far away anymore. Now everybody knows they can get there. And it's possible to go and come back without a wild disease. It's possible to go and come back without being turned into a half baboon or something you've seen on one of these crazy movies. It's possible to go and come back with this new lease on life, this new look on life. So one of the other thing about this book that we did that's it's interesting. I've showed people this book, and people who know. Like when I handled the book, they was like, "Bro, it's a real book." I'm like, "What you thought? Was it gonna be a real book?" They're like, "Well, it's not a pamphlet. It's a real." I'm like, "No, we definitely put some work into this." One of the things that makes it special, Gina, is there are 106 scannable QR codes. So it's called a Smart Ghana Repatriation Guide because most people who are probably reading a book, they don't want to read with their phone in one hand. However, what we've done here, you see the QR code here. What we've done here is we've included these QR codes throughout the book. And if you scan them as you read along, it's going to take you to content directly aligned with that particular chapter or paragraph if we wanted to make a point or insinuate something. So it's 106 codes.
Let me ask you this, Diallo. There are a couple people who've asked in the chat if you're planning to make this an ebook. And it sounds like you're one step away from that, but is there an ebook on the horizon?
It is an ebook. There is an ebook coming. Master P is one of my mentors. So right now I'm selling CDs out my trunk. So we starting from the ground level. We start from because people are asking me, is it on Amazon? Is it on BookBaby? Is it on this? Is it on that? And there were so many things intentional about this book. The book was printed with Baba Paul Coates at Black Classic Press, right? I know that I paid about $2.50 more per book to print it, but it was printed at a Black-owned company who printed a lot of the books I read growing up in school right there in Baltimore. And I'd rather give him that extra $2.50 than save it and send it to China. So right now you could get the book on our website, theadinkragroup.com. But we have a second.
Can I add something? Because you talked about paying more, but part of why you paid more is because you were able to print it in a manageable quantity. If you were to send it to China, you would have had to purchase far more books than you may have been ready to absorb.
But Gina, not only that, I'm gonna just tell a little secret. They helped me complete this and give people a better product than I was about to, because they cared. So I was able to learn a lot. This is my first book, self-published, and Bible Paul Coates wasn't going to let me put it out unless it was a certain quality. So that comes from, so that's what you get when you deal with a Black-owned business and somebody who you align with. Is they like, brother, you got some good content here. But I need to help you out because you done broke every cardinal sin that you can break when you're writing your first book, which so many people do. You know what I'm saying? So the value is like, the value is probably more definitely than the $250 that I spent. I could tell you that right now. The 10 minutes that I spent on the phone with Bible Paul Coates and the other time that I spent on the phone with his son Damani was definitely infinite wisdom and valuable for me for this book and for future books.
Nice. Diallo, people also have been asking, I was taking notes. Oh, this has come up several times. So the question is Ghana giving citizenship to descendants based on their African ancestry test results?
No.
Very simple answer. So the only country that is giving citizenship right now based on African ancestry test results is the country of Sierra Leone. For those of you who are wondering, now, Diallo, does Ghana offer citizenship to anyone?
So, yes, you can get citizenship, but you're going to go through the regular naturalization process as of right now, right? One of the misnomers, you're going to go through the regular naturalization process. There isn't, so you just can't come and because you're a African American or a person of African descent, you've come during the year of return. Like, no matter how much shea butter y'all put on, you're not going to get a passport, all right? So no matter how much jollof rice you eat, they're not going to give you a passport just because. So as of right now, no. But the country of Ghana is working on something called the Homeland Return Act that will create a pathway for citizenship. The country of Ghana did give citizenship twice at the will of the president, the former president, His Excellency John Mahama, and the incumbent president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. They both gave citizenship to groups of people due to the lobbying efforts of a number of groups and people who've been in Ghana for years and who've been lobbying for that. So when people saw that they gave citizenship, so many people thought I could just go to Ghana and get citizenship. No. However, if you're interested in getting citizenship and you travel to Ghana, my suggestion is going to be that when you travel, you look at getting residency. Because in order for naturalization, you have to build up a resume of residency for about 5 to 10 years. So even when people go look up the right of abode and things like that, don't get it confused. You will not become a citizen just because you're a person of African descent or because, you can make black eyed peas extremely well like I can. Like, it's not, I'm a fool, Gina. It's not, that's not going to get it. Like, however, what helps us is the more of us that travel and the more of us that are interested. For example, Gina mentioned Sierra Leone. African Ancestry helped to create and standardize that partnership with Sierra Leone that now gives every person who's taken the African Ancestry test on their maternal or paternal side and they've received ancestry results to say that they're maternally or paternally from Sierra Leone, you automatically qualify for citizenship. So I would say that Ghana is on the list. You can also do that in Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau is the other country that's fairly new, but that is giving citizenship based on the African Ancestry DNA test. Ghana is on the list. Cameroon's on the list. Nigeria is on the list. All of these countries are on. If I didn't say y'all country, I apologize. So don't start throwing hate in the comments like, he ain't say Senegal, he ain't say.
Well, you know what, Diallo?
But
one of the things that I know to be true is that I actually spoke to one of our friends and family at the Art Jammers. Shout out to the Art Jammers. And the country of Cameroon has a law that says they cannot give citizenship to others. So they've been working since 2010. They've been lobbying the president to change the law so that they can give DNA descendants citizenship. So for everybody who keeps saying, is it possible in Cameroon? As soon as it's possible, as soon as it's legally possible to do it in Cameroon, we will be on it. Diallo, I wanted to ask you another thing. You talked about what you miss when you are in Ghana, what you miss from home. What are a couple of the things that you love the most about being in Ghana?
One of my number one reasons for being here, put this up on the screen, hashtag no more winter. Okay? No more winter. I don't know. Well, I listen, when I'm at home, my wife even know when I'm at home, that breeze hit too hard, she be like, you about to leave? I'm on my way. Like, no more winter. So it doesn't get, the weather in Ghana is extremely beautiful year round, even during rainy season. And for me, I know like, I need that sunlight. Like I ain't no good, and I ain't no good in the wintertime when I'm cold, it's dark, it's gloomy, you know what I'm saying? Outside of being able to cuddle up, you know. Now I do love boots, hats, scarves, and coats on the fashion side, but it's not enough to endure winter. That's one thing. I love the fact that there's a lot of freedom, right? Like sometimes it feels and looks like chaos, but there's still a lot of freedom. I love the fact that the food is very fresh. The food can be very fresh. So depending upon where you are, you want some fufu, you want some contumere, you want some peppers, somebody's going right to pick it right there, right? The fruit is incredible. The music is incredible. Ghana is the enjoyment capital of the world. I've said this in the book. It's the enjoyment capital of the world. People party a lot. The culture, I mean, Gina, it's a lot that I love about being here. The business opportunities, like, and the people, right? The people, like, everywhere you go, you are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome.
Let's talk about that for a second. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That doesn't mean that everybody that says you are welcome, you are going to really be welcome. But the majority of Ghanaian people are very welcoming, right? Easily you could be invited to somebody's plate. Like they could be eating and you walk by and you'd be like, oh, that looks good. They'll be like, you want something? Like, so there's a lot of good, beautiful things. And Ghana also has the most number of African Americans living in country than any other African country. So you're gonna find some people. You'll be out walking somewhere, and you see somebody, and you just know he ain't Ghanaian. We got a certain bop to us that's different than the African bop, right? We are African, so don't say I ain't trying to divide us, but y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a different kind of bop to us. Like when he walking, I could tell he bopping the Earth, Wind, and Fire. He either bopping the Earth, Wind, and Fire or Wu-Tang. He not bopping to Shatta Wale or palm wine music or something else. It's a different kind of bop. You know what I'm saying? Gina, I'll give you, it's a different kind of bop.
Thank you for the sound bites, Diallo. That's definitely a sound bite. it's a different kind of bop. Let's talk Barry Payton. I hope he's still on, because I thought you could really add some color to this question. He wanted to know, how is Cape Coast different than, say, Accra or Kumasi? Cape Coast is a place that you've taken probably thousands of people at this point, because it is a dungeon, a fort where enslaved Africans were held prior to being put onto the ships and forcibly removed forever from their homeland, whereas Accra and Kumasi are cities. So how are those places different?
Well, geographically, they're different. So Accra is located to the south of Ghana, near the Gulf of Guinea. It's right there on the coast, right? And Accra is a modern city. One of the things you'll love about Ghana is there's a great mix of tradition and modernity. So you'll see that everywhere you go. And Ghana is one of those. So Accra is there. Modern city, has the international airport. Accra is mainly from Ga ethnic group is mainly in Accra, although you'll find mix everywhere. So it's just a big city. Accra is New York City. Accra is Manhattan. Accra is DC. Accra is Miami. Accra is all of these things, right? Now, when you go to Cape Coast, which is about a 3.5 and a 4-hour ride, which is exactly right where I just came from before I did this interview. I was in Elmina, which is right near Cape Coast. The town is a little bit different, right? It's not as many modern amenities. There's not that much more to do. You're not going to have as many restaurants, as many clubs, as many this, as many that. But Cape Coast, for many of the African Americans who travel and people of the African diaspora, it's where you're going to find Cape Coast Castle Dungeon and Elmina Castle Dungeon, which are two of the standing dungeons where, again, as Gina mentioned, our ancestors were, and your ancestors were kept and held in bondage before boarding a slave ship. So that's what makes Cape Coast a little different. From an ethnicity perspective, you're going to also find a whole bunch of others, but you're going to find Fanti people when you get into the history of how people migrated. So you're going to find some different traditions and customs, right? Now, Akan, Ashanti, people who speak Tree, they're going to be everywhere in Ghana. Now, when you go to Kumasi, Kumasi is the Ashanti kingdom. Kumasi is a little bit different. Kumasi is up north. Both Accra and Cape Coast are bordered by the Gulf of Guinea or the Atlantic Ocean. Kumasi is landlocked. Kumasi is kind of that, what I call the northern point of Ghana's Federal Triangle. Kumasi, I also call Kumasi the cultural capital of the world. That's where you're going to find the home of Kente, Adinkra. That's where the Asante Hene, who's the king of the Ashanti people, still lives and rules and reigns. So, the same way Oakland is different from Houston, and Houston is different from Chicago, and Chicago is different from Georgia, is the same way a lot of cities in Ghana are different from each other.
That was really helpful. Diallo, you're a wealth of knowledge. We're going to have you back to share more about Ghana and a Smart Ghana Repatriation Guide. As I mentioned earlier, we have a new segment we started last week called Fact or Whack. So I wanted to know if you'd be willing to play Fact or Whack with us.
I'm down to play.
Hold on, say that again.
I'm down to play Fact or Whack. Fact or Whack. Okay, I like this. Let's go.
Do you have the statements? You don't have the statements, right?
No.
Okay. So here's the first one. Can you read the statement for the people? And then we'll give them a chance to say whether it's fact or whack.
Ghana offered citizenship to the people who came for the year of return. What do y'all think?
Is that fact or whack? Tell us in the comments.
Tell us in the comments.
We kind of gave this one away, though, earlier. Fact
no, we
or
didn't.
whack? What?
No, we didn't.
You didn't give them a chance to answer yet, Diallo.
I didn't answer. I just said, let them keep going. Let them keep going. I'm like, let them keep going. Wow.
Okay,
this is so perfect. I'm so glad you did this. This is one of the reasons why I wrote this book. Before I answer, let me just say this. I've been on a number of Facebook groups, African Americans living in Ghana and other groups, and it's just people giving misinformation, blatantly giving misinformation, like the blind leading the blind. Not only the blind, the blind dog, the dog is blind and you blind. Who helping who cross the street? Like, come on, y'all. Stop being intellectually lazy. If you don't know, say I don't know. But stop giving people the wrong information because you are setting them up. They're going to run into something one day that you telling them, people listen. Anyway, you want my answer? Whack. Ghana did not offer citizenship to people who came for the year of return. During the year of return, there were a group of diasporans who had been living in Ghana who got citizenship, and the president gave them citizenship during the year of return. But Ghana did not give everybody who came to Ghana during the year of return citizenship.
Okay, cool. Number 2.
I thought everybody was going to get that right. I thought because we just talked about it.
Exactly.
Ghana's first president, Kwame Nkrumah, attended an HBCU. Let's see what y'all got to say. I tell you one thing. I love Kwame Nkrumah for so many things. He's definitely my hero in a lot of ways, but he definitely pledged the wrong fraternity. He definitely did.
We got a lot of facts. We got one whack, a lot of facts. Shout out to Maisha for joining us tonight.
Shout out to Maisha. That is a fact. Kwame Nkrumah attended Lincoln University. He also attended what's known as Street University in Harlem. When you look up his history, you'll see he learned a lot from the streets and those African American orators on 125th Street. But yeah, he did attend Lincoln University.
Okay, cool. Then we have one more. Is it whack or is it facts?
Cape Coast Castle and Elmina Castle are dungeons on the west coast of Ghana. I forget what the answer is, but I'm going to correct something if the answer is what I think it is.
Fact or whack? We need some fact or whack music too. Oh, here we go. We got a lot of facts.
Good job, Eddie.
Yeah, the way this was written, there might be a tad bit.
Yeah. Like
it would be my fault. I'm taking complete
tomato. But you know me, I'm the semantics king. So it's a fact. Ghana is, Elmina and Cape Coast castles are dungeons. What threw people off because it said west coast of Ghana. So technically, it's not on the west coast of Ghana. It's in the central region of Ghana. So it's on the coast though, in the central region, going towards Takoradi, going towards Nselezu, Axim, and going towards Ivory Coast. So just in case people don't know, Ghana is bordered on the south by the Gulf of Guinea. To the west is Ivory Coast. To the north is Burkina Faso. And to the east is Togo. Ghana is formerly known as the Gold Coast because of all the gold that was here and some other things. But you can definitely find out more about repatriating when you buy the book. The book is, if Wendi can throw that slide back up, 218 pages. Gina, can I add this about the book?
Of course. This is all about the book. So add whatever you'd like.
Thank you. We added 10 contributing authors. So it was also really important for me to make sure that I was able to allow other people's voices to be heard. So we have 10 contributing authors. These are friends of mine, people that I've met here in Ghana, people who have showed me the way in some ways, or people who I've just met and we've had different conversations. And I've asked them to contribute to the chapters because it was important that you just not only hear my opinion, but I'm able to also elevate these voices. The other thing that's important is sometimes we get into a space and a position like a foreign country that we all move. And one of the things that we have to do is we still have to work more together. We need a lot more collective work and responsibility, and we need a lot more cooperative economics. And one of the things that I found when I moved here is I didn't see as much of that as I thought. So by adding guest authors in this book, some who also do repatriation consulting, somebody else who also wrote their guide, I wanted to show that, look, I don't compete with anybody. You know, I only compete with God and myself. So I don't mind adding some friends and other people to my book, adding a QR code so that when you get to their chapter, you like what you read, you scan it, and it's going to take you directly to them. And I'm hoping that they get business from this book. But I'm also hoping that people understand why we added guest authors so that you can guest contributors so that you can get a wider perspective on some of the items like education, on business, on land and building, on history, on ethnicity, and things like that. So the guest contributors are really important for me. It's 20 chapters. And I'll just read these two quotes that are some of my favorite quotes. One, this is my number one quote from the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. I have no desire to take all Black people back to Africa. There are Blacks that are no good here and will likewise be no good there. So, you know, I don't think we have any no good people joining this broadcast, but, you know, if you look in the mirror and you just be like, you ain't no good, then stay home, don't come. The other quote is, the slave ship brought no West Indians, no Caribbeans, no Jamaicans, no Trinidadians, and no Barbadians to this hemisphere. The slave ship only brought African people. So you know, think about that. Think about all of who we say we are right now, and think about who we were when we came over here. It was all different people from the continent of Africa. So, you know, thank you, African Ancestry, for support, for helping me push the book. You can definitely get your African Ancestry QR code on in the book. If you haven't taken your test yet, African Ancestry is definitely in the book.
We got in the book. We made it in the book. Mama McKinney wants to know, is there a discount code for the book?
No, it's not a discount code. It's $24.99. Mama McKinney always trying to give something away to her people. She love her people. That's why we make sure she's on the historical advisory board and not the financial advisory board.
Oh my goodness. But in the spirit of full disclosure, everybody, Mama McKinney is Diallo's mother, which is why he feels like he can talk about her like that. But shout out to you, Mama McKinney, for being here, for always being very supportive of African Ancestry. Diallo, we wish you the best with this book. And I was actually something that I wanted to talk to you about. I'm just going to put it out here in public. If we can carry the book on AfricanAncestry.com, I would love to do that. So let's talk about if we can make that happen. With the theatrics, y'all.
I got you.
Seriously, I'm happy to do that if we can work out the logistics.
No,
and I also want to thank you for all the work that you do, that you've done and continue to do to help grow African Ancestry. We didn't talk about this, and that's for another time, but Diallo is the architect of African Ancestry family reunions. So when he talks about we this and we that, he is the driving force behind those. So for all of you who are like, when are we going to Guinea-Bissau, and when are we going to Ghana, and when are we going to here, direct those questions to Diallo. No. And also thank you for being the poster model for the Why You Matter campaign. I want to make sure that everybody sees the link, and you can go to lunchtable.com and check out the conversation that Diallo and I had with Travel Noir. I think her name is Deanna, today. That'll be on replay, so you can check out more about the Why You Matter campaign and the reasons why it's important to know where exactly in Africa you come from. Diallo, thank you also for staying up so late to kick it with us here. And thanks to all of you for your comments, for for your comments, for your questions, for playing Fact or Whack, all of that. I tell you every week, it doesn't matter what's going on Monday through Wednesday at 6:45. By the time 7 o'clock hits, I am hyped and ready to go. Wendi even makes fun of me because sometimes I'm looking like this when we're getting ready. And then as soon as I see you guys commenting and everything, I get hyped. Like Diallo, I do those dances, but on the inside. And shout out to Mary Smith for being the first one. So in case you guys haven't noticed, there's a pattern here. The first person to comment during one of our live broadcasts gets an African Ancestry gift of my choice. So we've given away a t-shirt. We've given away something else. I can't remember now, but we're giving away African Ancestry swag for the first person who comes on and comments every Wednesday. I want to shout out Wendi Cherry, who is the African Ancestry hype woman in the background. Yes, yes. For keeping us on track and keeping us on point, and for making sure everything goes smoothly every single week. If you see any glitches, it's definitely because of me. It is not because of Wendi. I take full responsibility for that. Listen, we're still in a pandemic. In fact, there's this new variant that is taking hold. So people are starting to wear masks again, and we still have African Ancestry country masks. So for all of you who were repping Nigeria in the comments, who were repping Guinea-Bissau and all the other countries, get yourself a mask. We got them while supplies last, because I can't say we're going to necessarily reorder them. And I thank you, Kendra Nicole, for being here. I'm very glad that you were able to join us. I just want you to continue to be safe, continue to take the necessary precautions so that not only you and your family are safe, but those around you are safe. We live as part of a larger community, even though some places that you may question that, but we are part of a community. And so I would love for you to continue to social distance, continue to wear your masks if you so choose, even though I hope you do choose. Continue to support your immune system and continue to support your mental health and that of those who you love and care about. Diallo, I love and care about you. Thank you so much for being here with us. And all of you, I love and care about you for joining us in the comments. Until we meet again, everyone, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be whole. And may you go buy a copy of the Smart Ghana Repatriation Guide. Batu. Everybody have a really good night. Take care. Bye, Diallo. Good night.